18 months after we came to the precipice of a financial meltdown ought to be enough time to put rules of the road into place so that we can give the market what it craves most, which is predictability. In my 15 months at least here as a new guy, I've never seen a bill that's had more bipartisan input than this piece of legislation. I had a great colleague in Senator Corker from Tennessee where we worked on the too big to fail and the resolution piece. There are places that can still be improved. I'd love to work with Senator Corker on some technical amendments to make this better. But this was a bipartisan piece of legislation. Two, I actually think there's a great deal of agreement on both sides of the aisle about our policy goals. We're not really talking about the role of government or who should get covered or not covered the way there was in healthcare. We all agree, no more taxpayer bailouts. We all agree, more transparency. We all agree there ought to be some sense of fairness in our financial system, and that consumers ought to know the financial products they're using and buying or mortgages they're making have got some basic underlying protections to them. I've yet to hear any of my colleagues on the other side disagree with those basic premises. And I think we're still working towards what I hope would be, as opposed to some of the disappointments that have perhaps come out of this chamber, something that we could all be proud of and the American people would be proud of, that we find some common ground. Now, I got to acknowledge I'm not a very good political prognosticator. I assumed last week, I think I may even said there was an 80% chance we get a bipartisan bill. I still think there's an close to that we'll get a bipartisan bill. I'm not sure that anybody that's listening tonight understands procedurally why our colleagues who share the same goals, those of us who've been working in bipartisan teams who've got amendments that will help strengthen the bill, that we shouldn't be spending tonight talking about those amendments, offering those improvements, having those who disagree debating back, when this was a bipartisan product to date, will be a bipartisan end solution, I believe. The American people demand 18 months after the fact that we put these new financial rules of the road into place. And I don't know, unlike many of my colleagues, I get to actually go home to Virginia tonight, to my home state. If I run into a Virginian explaining why we're not on the bill, I don't know what to tell them. Whatever the reason why our colleagues on the other side didn't want to get to a real discussion of the bill, I hope they can come back later tonight or first thing tomorrow and we can move to this bill, talk about it, put forward those amendments. I know I'm going to have some bipartisan amendments to make the bill stronger. I know some of my other colleagues will as well. And at the end of the day, get the people's business done, because as my friend, the senator from Colorado, has said, there's an the Dow may be back north of 11,000, but that doesn't mean much if you don't have a job. And one of the ways that we can guarantee the financial markets are going to continue to have the capital to make the loans, to make the investments, to create that next wave of jobs, is to make sure we've got financial rules of the road in place. So I thank the chair and yield back my time.